Thank you so much, Richard, for putting in such great perseverance and letting us share your world. In a sense, now we're joined by some others who are not here today, because I have some messages of congratulation, which, with your permission, I'll read out. The first is from the Master of Trinity College, Cambridge. This is not fictional, by the way, where, if you remember, Richard White was a student. Lord Rees of Ludlow says, Richard White was a remarkable personality with great accomplishments, and we are proud to count him as one of our most distinguished alumni. It is very welcome news that he is being commemorated at a location where he made such an imprint. My colleagues in Trinity share my personal pleasure at this initiative. The second message is from today's rector of the church in Wiltshire, little family church where the estate was, and where Richard's brother was rector. The Reverend Jane Tailby writes to us, "It's with great pleasure that I'm sending you greetings for Tefont Evius as you celebrate this special day. Tefont Evius is a tiny, beautiful village hidden away in Wiltshire, and it's wonderful to discover that sometimes someone with an association with the village makes an impact in the wider world. And this is clearly so in Richard White's case. It's lovely to think that as he was planning the shape and layout of the Mill Hill estate, he might have had in mind something of the tranquility of this village, Tefont Evius, which he would have known as he grew up, and that it might have been one of the models for his ideas of Mill Hill Park. We wish you a very happy day. God bless you." Then we have a message from the Law Society's president, Linda Lee. Richard is mentioned in our very earliest documents, she says, including the prospectus of 1805, setting up the law institution, later the Law Society. I'm not sure, she says, that Richard would recognise the profession or even the Law Society if he were here to see it today. Women now account for more than half of our admissions to the roll, and there is a bewildering variety of specialisations practised by solicitors today that were probably beyond his wildest dreams. But I hope that he would have been pleased to see how our jurisdiction has flourished to become the legal capital of the world. It's because of ambitious individuals like Richard that our profession has a voice that allows it to play a vital role in maintaining the rule of law in this country and promoting it across the globe. I hope you enjoy today's celebrations. From the previous chairman, now of the Acton Residents Association in the 1980s, Peter Finch, we have this. We always sought to represent everyone who lived in Acton, but our heartland remained the Mill Hill Park estate where the Acton Residents Association started. The association tried to make Acton a more attractive place to live in, to retain its heritage, make Acton people proud of it. I'm delighted that the work is being continued and is supported by the funds transferred from the Acton residents to the Mill Hill Park residents when the former ceased operating. Keep up the good work. And last but not least, a message from some of Richard White's descendants today in Scotland, tracked down after some extraordinary, painstaking sleuthing by Jerome Farrell, our resident historian. They're all surnamed Mackay-Scobie and live in North Inverness-shire. Ronald Mackay-Scobie, a great nephew of Richard White, wrote to say, "We are there with you in spirit." And his mother, Patricia, wrote, "As I hope to celebrate my 94th birthday on that day, I will not be able to go to your party, but I wish you the best of weather." And indeed, I'm sure her good wishes have kept the rain off. Now, it's my great pleasure to invite the Deputy Mayor of London, Richard Barnes, to say some words in one of the several languages you speak. I know English.
With your permission, we'll choose English.
With permission granted.
Is Richard White going to join us again?
Oh yes, that would be good.
I'm afraid he had to go.
This is altering. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. White, there truly is very, very little to add to what has been said. I certainly cannot add any more lustre to the name of Richard White and his importance around here and indeed to the Law Society by anything that I can add. And so can I simply say what a pleasure it is to have a reason to get dressed on a Sunday afternoon and to be here, and to thank Paul for being such a gracious host to most of us earlier in his living room. Thank you very much indeed for giving us the wall space. It is a joy, and it is nice that people associate themselves with an area and it becomes part of them and their way of life, that we all tie the communities together and we carry that tying of the communities together forward by also looking backwards. Knowing where we come from matters to where we actually go. So can I congratulate all of you for getting together, campaigning to get this done, and can I go and pull the cord? Of course. We're going to have a fanfare. When you're ready.
Oh, great.
Just finally, a few words of thanks to many people who have done so much to make today possible. First, our member Jerome Farrell, who I mentioned earlier, whose idea to put a plaque up it first was. Much of what you've heard about Richard White is based on his meticulous researches, and indeed he must be the undisputed world authority on Richard White and the White family. No less importantly, Councillor Yvonne Johnson, who has long had the vision of celebrating White's legacy in this way. It's thanks in great part to Yvonne that the plaque has received the funding support from Ealing Council through the South Acton Ward Forum as a symbol that will draw attention to our history and help foster local identity and pride in the community and its heritage. Thanks to Ray Batchelor, not least for reincarnating Richard White so specially. and to Malcolm Temple and Jerome for installing the plaque. Thanks to Paul, the Right Honourable the Earl of Tankerville, and the other residents of 11 Avenue Crescent for giving the plaque such a fine home. Thanks to Sergeant Williams and his team for keeping Avenue Crescent blissfully free of cars. And my personal thanks to the organising team, along with Rex Bonnet, who've done so very much to make today possible. Finally, thanks to our marvellous fanfare trumpeter.
Oh, yes.
She vanished.
She vanished! Oh, she's here, yes.
But I think her agent's just next door.
Yes. Who may like now to play us out with another splendid blast from the Beethoven fanfare.